It's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Diane, right? Diane? McDermott. McDermott.
Rachel McDermott.
Rachel and Diane. Okay. Well, hey.
Close.
Yeah. No. We're going to talk about making that connection with reality while we're hunkered down, sort of. Isn't that kind of what we're going to talk about?
Yes.
You have a counseling center.
Yes.
No, you have two.
We are located in Visalia
Right.
and Hanford.
And in Hanford.
I own McDermott Counseling.
Yeah.
Diane is one of our providers. We have several other providers
Right.
also. Yeah.
And so, this is a time where people might need counselors? I don't think so. Come on. You're locked up in your house. And,
With your kids. And your husband and his wife.
Yeah,
Going stir crazy.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and TV doesn't do what it used to do for people nowadays. So there you go. Yeah. It is a very, it's a serious time. We can have a little levity, but families are struggling. Individuals are struggling. We're all trying to do what it is we're supposed to do, keeping that safe space, not going out. And, I didn't realize that I had so little in my home to keep me occupied until I couldn't get out of my house. Mm-hmm. And that, unfortunately, is where some people are, or some people's relationships that has been kind of comfortable because, we're not together other than that few minutes in the morning and the evening, and all of a sudden now we're up close and intimate like we haven't been since we were dating, umpteen years ago or whatever. And maybe we've changed a little bit, and what do we do? Kind of where we're at, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a stressful time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do we do, Rachel?
Well, one of the things that we're having a lot of people complain to us about are their children and trying to get their kids to do their homework. And what we're really telling people is your kid's not going to fall behind because everybody's going to be 2 months behind in their education. So it's not worth your mental health. It's not worth your relationship to get in battles over homework.
Well, how about we just push them out the front door and lock it and don't...
Go out and play like our parents did, right?
Stand out in the middle of the street, no.
Don't get hit by a car.
Yeah. No, parents oftentimes take an interest in their child's academic, where they're at, their education. Mm-hmm. And, oftentimes that hits its peak like at report card time or whatever. The rest of the time, it's the teacher's job. We send them off to school, and I don't have to worry. Well, are you doing your homework? Yeah, we're doing okay, we're good. Yeah, fine. Report card comes, well, you're not doing your homework, so I got to go talk to your teacher. All of a sudden, we're not going to talk to the teacher. I'm going to be here with you, and, well, you're just going to hunker down. I'm going to make you be the student that I know that I want you to be, and, that doesn't necessarily work. It doesn't make for a healthy relationship, does it?
No.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, in 5 years from now, these 2 months of missing out on these 2 months of education, it's not gonna matter. Like I said, you can move across the country, across the world, and every child is going to have lost these 2 months of education. Mm-hmm. It's your child's not going to be any farther behind. You could use it as an opportunity if if it's something you and your child connect doing. And you want to learn how to do math the way they're learning how to do math these days, which is completely different from how we all learn how to do it.
It's like really bizarre, isn't it? I mean, come on. The stress level for me goes up. Forget the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But.
It's important. Go ahead.
Or you can teach them the way you learn to do math.
And they get in an argument over that's not how their teacher taught them.
That's not the way my dad showed me how to, or my mom.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, okay.
So using this time to connect as a family. So that when you do look back on this time in years to come, you say, remember when, and we played card games and we got to play Monopoly.
Card games? Monopoly?
I know.
What was that?
Well, you were saying you ran out of things to do.
Well,
A deck of cards kids actually come up with the most amazing games with cards. You just let them teach you whatever card game.
I had to take the poker chips away from them, though. It got a little strange.
They'll probably come up with a use for those, too.
Yeah. No, this is really, people look at this and they think, oh my gosh, but it's an opportunity if you look at it that way.
Yes.
If you happen to be a young family or, you even, heaven forbid you have teenagers. I mean, come on, things get a little rough. But you can get to know your kids.
Yeah.
You can get to spend what they used to call quality time.
Right.
No, actually communicating. You mean you have a life? there's people that you know, they do what? They're interested in what? You have this? I didn't know that. You know, and that's just talking to my wife. It's amazing. But no, but you know, this is a time. It's an opportunity that we can come together as a family. You're right. Creating memories that years to come, you can think back. My wife's mom lived through the Depression, and we have recently been talking about what that was like, and you know the struggles. But as you can tell, as she's telling the stories of the things that they went through, those are fond memories. I mean, it brings back good feelings, and people don't think about that's what we're going through right now, but that really is. And am I off base on that, or
Yeah,
No, I'm
definitely.
not. I need to be affirmed and evaluated. But no.
A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, are they?
But in the present moment,
good
a lot of times there are people getting in a lot of arguments.
There is that now.
But they're not going to remember that when they look back on it. They're going to remember how close they got.
Right.
And probably most people have ever spent with their teenager.
But all of that aside, life goes on. If we have individual personal problems, it might not be a bad thing to speak to someone that has an understanding, a background that can, help me map my way through it, or whoever it is, and that's where you folks come in, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we can call you up. You're taking new patients, right?
We
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
We do telemedicine, so we do video sessions with our clients who feel more comfortable staying at home, but we're still doing in-person sessions with our clients that want an excuse to get away from their families for a few hours.
I can pay you for that.
Our offices are all very large. We practice. None of us have offices where you're sitting closer than 6 feet apart, or closer than 6 feet.
So we don't have to talk about up close and personal, but we can talk about distancing and personal in person, right?
Yes.
So how's it working with you, Diane? You getting through this? You cracking the whip down there? I'm having fun. I had too much fun last time around. I don't think you're going to get by.
Right. I'm seeing individuals, couples, and most of them are just fine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's
More
not a
anxiety,
problem.
and Diane's a registered nurse
Right.
also.
I was going
So
to
she
say.
has the medical knowledge that
Right.
helps people understand, the importance of just washing your hands and not touching your face, as opposed to some of the misconceptions we have about coronavirus right now.
Oh, yeah.
And people have the media.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's scary to watch, and so a lot of times we're telling our clients, stay off of the news.
Turn off.
Go onto the
Yeah.
CDC website if you want to
Yeah.
get your information. Not to tell.
Well,
Keep watching this
Yeah,
program.
Central Valley Talk. I mean, we're having fun. At least I'm having fun. I don't know if you're having fun, but that's not
great time.
important. Yeah, no. But it's important. It really is important. Turn off the panic. Turn off the hysteria. The day's not going to change. How you interact with the day can change by just turning that off.
Yes.
And you work with couples. You're a registered nurse. Let me ask you a question that doesn't come up so much, but in this time, okay, we're all locked in. We're doing our best, and yeah, there's more irritations and stuff. Is there any type of nutritional regimen that might be a little more beneficial for someone, that's, is there
You
something?
want me to tell them what we talked about before we went on the camera?
Well, maybe. No.
They're not going to like it any more than you
No.
did. No. Yes. Eating healthy,
Yeah?
so important to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. We were created with an immune system that is able to handle any virus or bacteria that comes our way, as long as we're living a healthy lifestyle, eating healthily.
So my 24/7 3 pounds of sugar an hour diet's not going to cut it?
That's, no, it's not. I'm sorry.
Well, can I go to salted potatoes that are fried, commonly called potato chips? Does that work?
Actually, that would be better.
That would be better. Okay,
Better
well,
than sugar.
okay.
I think sugar is the invisible culprit
Yeah, see
that
what it does to the proteins and how it,
coats the proteins so that our bodies are not able to use the proteins to repair and rebuild, and our bodies are in a constant state of repairing and rebuilding, especially during lighter stages of sleep. So if we have sugar running through our bodies, that's not happening.
Doesn't it also lower our ability to fight off viruses and stuff if we have, a larger amount of sugar in our diet? Doesn't that,
Yes.
take our immunity and kind of suppress it?
Yes.
I hate to say that, but I think that's
Yes,
true, probably.
yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
our immune system works really well when we give it good
The good stuff.
nutrition.
Yeah.
Yes,
And now's the kind of time we want to be giving it the good stuff, right?
right.
Yeah.
So fresh fruits and vegetables,
Mhm.
the healthy fats, avocado, oil, coconut, olive oil, coconut, flaxseed oil, your nuts
Mhm.
have healthy fats in them. Those are really important.
And
Mhm.
if everything else fails, I can pick up the phone and call you.
yes.
Yes.
And that's kind of I've had some fun, but now let's get a little serious, or at least I will. It's important to make that phone call. If we're in and life, those walls seem to be coming in, I'm a little more panicked, I'm a little more, my coping ability has kind of, gone down the drain with all the sugar that I just got rid of. Maybe it's time that I reach out and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And that's what you're here for.
Yeah, and also we can give
Yeah.
you a few things that you could do
Okay.
at home for the viewers at home that are suffering from some anxiety, because fear and curiosity cannot coexist. So you might notice a deer when it's eating, it's looking around. The second it hears something, it freezes. And our body's fear and curiosity just can't coexist in our central nervous system. So it actually has to do with the frontal lobe and the amygdala in the brain, which Diane would be better off to explain. But so what we do is we play games with we teach our clients some game. There's a game that you could play. It's like I Spy, but it forces us to use curiosity. It forces us to use mindfulness skills, which is about mindfulness is one of the best treatments for anxiety and depression. It actually works as good as medication for a lot of people. It's about being aware of our present moment experiences on purpose,
Being in the moment.
with openness
Yeah.
and a willingness to be with what is. So we incorporate mindfulness in the game that I created is similar to I Spy. So you could play it with your family at home, and you pick an object in the room. One of you picks an object in the room, like for example, if I was going to pick a light switch. And so you have to describe it without using things like switch. You can't use
Right.
the word switch in it. So you might start describing it by saying, well, it's white, it's rectangular, it has two round things in it with a little plus sign in the middle, which would be where the screws are. And the person in the room has to figure out what it is that you're describing, the person you're playing with. So you're both, the person that's doing the describing is being 100% mindful. They're being aware of their
Right.
present moment experiences. And the other person that's guessing is being curious. So both ways, it helps both people to help decrease their anxiety. And we have a lot of different tools like that we're teaching our clients how to use so that you're
So
not
they
so
can-
anxious during this
Anxious, they
time.
can cope in a constructive
And having
way.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fun?
it's
You
fun.
get to have fun too?
It is fun. Somebody was describing a doorstop, and I was like, what is it? I can't figure it out.
How funny.
It was one of those round doorstops.
Doorstop.
She said, it's round, it's black, there's a silver thing around it, and I'm like, I can't figure it out. So it's kind of a fun game.
It wasn't my cell phone. What could it be?
I know.
Yeah. No, you talk about the fear response, the fear mechanism. you know, when I retired as the doctor of chiropractic, well, when I graduated from college, well, I'm not going to tell you when, but it was a while, we knew absolutely at that time that a baby was born with two fears, loud noises and falling, and that was it. You know, today we know that that's not even close. We're born with the ability to have all sorts of kind of fears because we didn't know about the fear mechanism back then, of which the amygdala is part of, and how it's hardwired into, you know, our five senses and all this stuff, and it's amazing. But if you can trick that, you know, that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
You know, like with curiosity, if you can, you know, get that to kind of shut off and not be your first responder, as we're evolutionarily wired for it to be, then all of a sudden you can shift away. Well, if you can shift away, anxiety goes down, and you know, all that other stuff goes down.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we can play Tarzan games on the kitchen room table, you know, living room table, or whatever else we can do.
Or
you know,
we can make forts in the living
you
room.
bet.
Yeah.
It's amazing what
Anything
you can do.
that,
Yeah.
you know, like the game I just described here,
Right.
both parties are having to use the executive functioning in their prefrontal
Yeah.
cortex. So the amygdala is located in the back of our
Mm-hmm.
brain, and when we can't use both at the same time. So it's forcing us to use the executive functioning,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's taking us out of our fear mode. But there's a lot of other
Wait,
activities
Rachel,
we could do too.
Are you telling me that I have an executive function in my brain too?
Somewhere in there.
Are you telling me? Really?
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I can put it to use. Oh, I can't wait home till I get home to tell my wife. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So, having fun is fine, but what's your number? When do I know that maybe it's time that I want to pick up the phone and reach out and call you or call your office?
Well, you could call anytime and
Okay.
and just tell us, you know, most of it is covered by insurance. So, and even if it's not, we have, you know, a fee scale that's pretty affordable. Anytime that you're just feeling uncomfortable, give us a call and we'll, you know, we'll direct you.
And you can
give
be there, huh?
Yeah, we can be there. We could either do, you know, video sessions, or we could do in person, or even telephone therapy sessions.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and at this time, there's probably going to be a lot of people that should make that phone call, and that's a
Yes.
good thing.
Yeah.
And having someone like you ladies on the other end who have a good sense of humor is a good thing too. You provide a great, just a great service, and you know, I can say thank you, but more than that, the people that are going to call you can say thank you with much more meaning than the thank you that I can give you. But thank you anyway. You know, Hanford. That's the new office.
New office in Hanford.
Awesome. And Visalia.
And Visalia. We've been in
Okay.
Visalia for 15 years.
Yeah. So
Well, actually, I think 18. Sorry.
there you
Something
go.
like that.
So,
16, 17, I don't know.
Facebook,
We have a Facebook. I'm not sure what the address is. We have an Instagram
Instagram.
at McDermott underscore counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And then our website is McDermottCounseling.com.
Mm-hmm.
Our phone number is 559-280-5756. And our Facebook has something to do with McDermott Counseling. I'm not sure.
That's okay. My
Yeah.
grandson, who handles all my tech stuff, told me that Facebook's passe, Grandpa.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
it's all, you know,
true.
if you're in Facebook, you know, see the gray hair?
Old
you
school.
know, yeah. Yeah.
We have an
Instagram-
office manager, Grace, that does all of our social media for us. So we.
Well, obviously you are up to the cutting edge with Instagram because that seems to be where it's at.
Well, Grace is.
Racist.
So I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
I had a lot of fun at your expense, but it was serious.
We'll have a lot of fun at your expense on our drive home.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Should I feel uncomfortable now? Do I need to
No,
reach out and
okay.
call because life has gotten out of hand? No, but no, serious. You provide a great service,
Thank you.
and
And so
no,
do you.
Yes.
oh,
Thank
I
you
want
for
you. I
having
want
us
you to
on.
tell my boss on the way out, would you? No, it's important in this time that we all come together on many different levels, but recognizing as individuals that maybe we have a need that's beyond our ability, even if we think that we can handle things, that maybe we should just pick up that phone, and if I can call and I can talk to someone that has a little more sense about where I'm at than than what I know about where I'm at, can change my whole life experience and expression from this point going forward.
Yeah, or if you notice your kids, kids express stress and anxiety very differently.
I don't talk to my kids. No, yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of telemedicine even with children, you know, to help them, because they don't always talk about what all their fears are. They're hearing things on the news, but it doesn't make sense to them, and so we use, kids especially use their imagination
actually,
to fill in the blanks.
You know,
Yes.
I forgot to bring that up. I'm glad you did, because, you know, we get the news and it's a lot of panic stuff, so, but we're adults, we're supposed to be. But kids aren't. They don't have those skills.
No, they're worried
No.
grandma's going to die or the whole world's coming to an end.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the
so
more
if you notice, if you notice behavior problems in your children, that's
Mhm.
the time to call a therapist.
Right.
They're not going to tell you, Mommy, I'm feeling anxious.
Mhm. Excuse me, I got. Don't want to cough on you, but it's just a cough. My
Oh,
throat.
you're not worried.
No, but yeah, don't run out too quickly, right? Thanks for being with us. Thanks for what you do,
Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
thanks for sharing with our audience. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's
So
our privilege.
get a hold of these ladies. You know, you don't have to be in Hanford or Visalia. You can reach out and they can help you. And I'll see you when we come back.